When the new calendar year hits, a lot of people make resolutions to get in shape, to go to the gym. And I know this because I go to the gym regularly and there's always a ton more people around in January. But there's a good question worth asking as a Catholic Christian when you think about going to the gym. Where does health end and vanity begin? That's a good question, isn't it? How do I work out without giving into, without building up the sin of vanity, the vice of vanity? Let's think about that by first of all looking at what vanity is. Vanity is a sin, vainglory, it's sometimes called as well, where we are interested in, we are obsessed in other people's attention to us, right? We want other people to pay attention to us. You might almost think of it as a sin of immaturity or prolonged immaturity, just as maybe some people when they're in their teenage years get obsessed with wanting other people to pay attention to them. Vainglory. So yes, we should work out and exercise and be healthy. We need to be stewards of our body. But how do we prevent the sin of vainglory from entering in? We prevent the sin of vainglory from entering in by, first of all, keeping watch on our hearts, keeping watch on our intentions. In any moral act, there's three parts to a moral act. First of all, there's the choice itself. In this case, to exercise. There is our intention about the exercise, and there's the circumstances under which we exercise. With exercise, our object of choice is to strengthen, to increase our cardiovascular wellness, to be able to be stretched out from having to sit an awful lot as a student or a business professional. That is our choice. That is the object we're choosing. What's our intention for which we're choosing it? Now there's a good question. So if we're choosing our exercise because of how we think other people will look at us, that's vainglory. If that thought starts to enter into our minds as we're exercising, we need to drive it out. We need to keep it at bay and not make it our own. Right? Any temptation comes in as an unbidden thought. In just the same way, a temptation to vainglory might come into your mind as you're exercising. You might see yourself in the mirror and look a little longer at yourself and say, well, how do I look? How do other people see me? You might be exercising a particular muscle and might be wondering, how are people going to look at me when I get transformed in this way after these days of exercise? Well, that's vainglory, right? Because then we're not exercising just to exercise or exercise in order to perform better in some sport or some activity. We're not exercising in order to be happier in our daily life, having to sit down an awful lot in our work and other responsibilities. No. In that case, we're exercising in order to wonder, how do I look to others? And once we've embraced that thought, once we've made that thought our own, I wonder how others will look at me, that's when vainglory enters in. So we want to be on guard against that. If we consider vainglory in that light, we can gain spiritual freedom. We can gain smallness of heart. Now, if we realize that we're falling into the trap of vainglory, well, first of all, don't be alarmed. We're sinners. But second of all, be vigilant against that sin. Maybe make a particular examen as part of your day. All right, how often was I concerned about how other people looked at me? Whether in terms of my physical appearance, maybe my studies, maybe my prayers, maybe my generosity, or some other thing. Well, whenever I was aware of doing that, I need to repent of that. Jesus, I repent of the sin of vainglory, of being concerned with how others look at me, and I cast it into your holy wounds. We need to confess it when we go to our regular confession. And we need to pray to be humble in those future circumstances. Lord, let me walk by mirrors without looking at myself. Lord, let me do my exercises without considering how other people look at me. Lord, let me do my prayers without considering how it is other people will see me, that they'll see me as holy or smart or whatever. So let's be on guard against the sin of vainglory in our exercising at a new year or in anything that we do. Because that vainglory is certainly a poison by which the enemy wants to steal our merit and our likeness to God. I'm Father Andrew Dickinson from Pius XII Catholic Newman Center. God bless you. I love you. Have a great week.